fantastic to see all these people on a Wednesday night in Bamford. Thank you very much for coming. It's lovely to see everybody. For people who don't know, I think some people in this room are part of the Bright Sparks network and have been to Bright Sparks events before. It's a fairly new and evolving network. At the last Bright Sparks event in Bakewell, there was a suggestion of how we might promote it, which is on the new posters and leaflets, which was a network of volunteers who run our own small businesses or community organisations in the Peak and share our skills with others, which kind of sums it up really. When we were starting, we were looking for people who could always pass on their skills, knowledge to other people, but actually everybody needs a bit of help and support. So the network of Bright Sparks is actually becoming a bit more of a kind of self-help network in a way, where people within the network are supporting other people within the network, as well as offering outside the network, which is great, because that's really what it's about, that we're all, the things that we all have particular expertise in, but there's lots of things that we're not very good at and we'd like a bit of support from somebody else. We've got the focus of this one on funding, so it's a kind of themed network event, and we'll have short presentations from David Gluck, who's over there, one of my colleagues from Brickwork, and he's going to talk about some of the leader funding that's available. We'll then have Matt Rowe, who's down here, from Big Lottery Fund, who's going to talk about some of the big lottery funding that's available. And then we've got Ibrar, who's from Unlimited, and he's going to talk a bit about the awards that they can make to support social enterprise, small business development. For people who don't know, I think some people in this room are part of the Bright Sparks network and have been to Bright Sparks events before. It's a fairly new and evolving network, which was a network of volunteers who run our own small businesses or community organisations in the Peak and share our skills with others, which kind of sums it up really.
So far it's supported 64 projects, I'm told, by Amanda Brown, who is the head of all of this. And in fact we're currently working with about a dozen projects across the Peak. And the grants are small ones, so £3,500 is the minimum grant, and that goes up to £10,000. Theoretically anyone can apply. There is a set of priorities, so that's given to constituted community organisations, social enterprises, parish and town councils, and indeed charities. So you've got to be based in the community, you've got to show that the community is clearly wanting the thing that you're trying to promote. It wants to support micro-businesses or social enterprises that are at risk of closure. The nub of it is to support micro-enterprises, social enterprises, community groups who are providing a new service to their rural community. So my message to anybody who's got an idea, who is thinking maybe a little bit of funding could make the difference, then come and talk to us.
Who buys a lottery ticket? Who plays the lottery? Any idea what happens with that money? I'm part of the regional teams. There are 9 regional teams in the country. We don't fund the majority of businesses. There has to be an end result where it is the community that is of benefit, although we do fund social enterprises and community interest companies. For people to have better chances in their lives, with better access to training and development, to improve their life skills. That's outcome 1. Outcome 2 is stronger communities with more citizens working together to tackle their problems. That's outcome 2. Improve rural and urban environments and improving the access to them, and access is a key word there, or healthier and more active people and communities. And if your project or the outcome of your work or organisation meets a minimum of one of those, then potentially the project is something that we would consider. Awards for All is between £300 and up to £10,000, and we will fund a variety of different organisation types, project types and outcomes that benefit the community or a part of the community. It is part of our open funding programme. Its big brother, so to speak, is reaching communities, which is £10,001 up to £500,000, and that is available for up to 5 years worth of project funding and as with Awards for All, it will potentially fund 100% of that activity. Something that's being branded around internally is the word impact, which is different from outcomes. It's the very end part of the food chain. So consider the overall impact that you are hopefully going to support or going to achieve. So if you work with or you know of groups that are there to provide support and to basically improve the level or to improve participation in art, sport or heritage, they would be the first port of call. If you're using art, sports or heritage as the vehicle to engage or the hook to get people in, but the benefit is for the community, potentially it is for the big lottery fund, big fund. If you click on that, that is all the money that we have to administer that is not from the National Lottery. We get a number of pots of money directly from the government, different agencies and departments to administer on their behalf. So it's worthwhile checking those because the criteria and the actual targets of those are different. Funding advisor tip number one, I've got to say it, is please read the guidance notes because it saves a hell of a lot of hard work and issues and problems and head scratching and annoyance afterwards.
Can I just ask a general question? How oversubscribed are you?
It's, Awards for All at the moment, in the East Midlands we have fewer than anticipated applications coming through. There is money out there, we have money, it's just if the application is strong enough.
Our focus is very much on the individual. We're about entrepreneurship. So we're looking for motivated, passionate individuals. This is our form to get you into the system. Whatever the idea is, whether it's a business idea or whether it's not going to result in any type of business, we need to know that it was the social motivations that are driving the individual to do this, the need to create the change. Try it, do it and build it. The try it is £500. It's literally from idea stage. You've got up in the morning, you've looked out the window and you've seen the problem. And it's that light bulb moment. The do it is once you decide to run with it and you think you've got reasonable evidence that it will work. That's the do it award. It's up to £5,000 and it's to try and get the idea off the ground. The build it is to take it up to that stage where we're trying to help you bring in the customer, bring in the clients, help you develop your services further to expand it into a business. So there's a little bit of cash and a lot of support. We provide 12 months worth of tailored support to your needs. Once you've got an award, once it's confirmed from our board that you have an award, the relationship completely flips, where it's you as the award winner that's pretty much dictating to us what it is you need from us now in terms of support. We also have a separate arm called Connect. They spend their entire time going out into the commercial world and finding individuals, professionals that are prepared to give up their time to support people that are actually creating the change. Reinventing the wheel, we love all of that. People say don't reinvent the wheel, we want you to reinvent it. All of that bog standard stuff that's already happening. If you're going to take that wheel and stick a few extra spokes on it that makes it sound exciting, then do it, then come to us.